Hello, my name is Arthur. In this video we're going to make the player a health bar. I've already created 3 textures and we can have a look at how I made the textures, but we won't go through making all 3 of them because it's kind of a waste of time. So basically I just open a new document. I went with a width of 64 and a height of 8. And maybe that health bar is a bit big, or maybe it's small. Well, maybe it's a bit big for the player. Then pretty much all we're doing is filling it with green, red, and yellow. So I would fill it with the green, export, and export it into a directory in my project with a simple name like green. Then I would fill it with red, fill that in, export it as red bar or red, and fill it with yellow and export it as yellow, which is what I did. So yeah, that's not a graphic that should require much explaining. They're just 3 colored graphics, 64 by 8 pixels. So the life bar we'll make will be sort of universal. It'll be usable, we will be able to instance it on any unit. So we'll just call it life bar. And all it will need is a texture progress. And we'll rename texture progress to just progress. So in the progress bar, we want the bar to start full. So we started at a value of 100 or 100%. Then in textures, we load in our beginning texture, which would be our green texture. That'll get us the graphic. And we can see the rectangle is kind of doing its own thing. So we'll just enter the Y value of 8 to match up with our image resolution, which is 64 by 8. Then we can pretty much just save that. We'll leave our assets open though. So we'll control save into the UI folder. We'll save that and we'll give the life bar a script. We'll need to make 3 variables. Variable green equals preload, and we'll preload the green graphic. So we'll just get the path, copy path, paste that in here, and that's fine. So we could do a little bit of copy and paste scripting here. So let's just control copy, paste, paste. Yellow. Red. And we'll change the address to indicate the yellow and red graphics, which is their names. I just called them green, yellow, and red PNG. So they all have the same address, just the different names. So that's our variables. Now function update life bar value. The value is sent by whichever unit is updating its life bar. So it would be if value is greater than or equal to 60, which is a percentage. $sign progress dot texture progress equals green. Again, we can cheat a bit here and do a little copy and paste scripting. So we'll copy, paste, paste. This would now become less than, and this would become less than. We can actually take the equals out of the first one because it's an overlap. It if it's greater than or equal, if it's equal 60, it's going to end up as the second condition. So we'll take out the equal out of the first one. So if it's less than 60, we would progress to the yellow bar. And if it's less than 40, we would progress to the red bar. And then for the last one would be $ progress dot value equals value. Excuse me. That will progress the bar down by whatever percentage of life is left. So that means that we got to give some variables for health. So we'll start with variable max health. And we'll call that 100. Then we'll give a variable for health. And at ready, we will health equals max health. Okay, so now at update HUD, we're not just going to be subtracting lives anymore here. So we're just going to comment that out for now. And we'll create function take damage value. And whatever's hurting us will deliver its hit points to us. So we would take health minus equals value if health is less than or equal to 0. Q free. We'll mark that because that will change when we have more than one life, and then we would be update. Oh, let's get to our player. So let's save our life bar, make sure everything's saved there. We'll go to our player. In UI, we'll have the life bar scene, so that's instanced onto the player. Let's just grab that and rough it out over his head. Technically, we should probably put that at position minus 32. That would be centered on his head. And that can just be wherever. We'll just leave it something like that for now. And get back to the script. So we would be $ life bar dot update life bar. Then we would use the calculation health divided by 100 times max health. And we need to get that proper in there. And health divided by 100 times max health is a percentage, so it will send the percentage of health that's left. So the next thing, let's check our time to see how much time I've used up here. Okay, 10 minutes. The next thing is to change player damage. So player damage wouldn't read like this. We're just going to comment it. And we would be, let's see, we're going to need a variable hit points, or hit points equals, we'll say 50, so 2 fire hits. Then we're going to need a variable that's a Boolean. We'll just call it fire hit equals false. If head frame greater than 2, we're going to need to add in if not, and not fire hit. This is to stop him from being able to repeatedly damage the player. If not fire hit, then it can do these things. Okay, so we would be body dot take damage. Hit points. And then the other thing we would have to be is, let's see, if player hit, fire hit equals true. And then in order to be able to hit a second time, I believe we would have to put that here. Fire hit equals false. So when the animation is ended, it will reset. Okay, so let's see if that works. That may be a little bit confusing, but hopefully that makes it so that the enemy can't repeatedly shoot or hit the player. So yeah, it took him 2 shots to be able to kill the player. And could probably use giving some timing there. So now he can jump out of the way. I'm not sure what happened there. Now he'll die. So something went wrong there. Let's see how much time we have. We're taking the 2 hits, but is less than or equal to 0. He's dead. So I'm not sure what happened to the health bar there. Update life bar. Life bar. Yeah, it's almost as though value ended up 0. So let's see. Update life bar. Health. Probably the thing to do is to print ouch. Then we can see what happens. We'll just let him hit the player once. Yeah, he's registering 2 hits. So I'm going to have to figure out why the player is registering 2 hits. And in the next video, we'll come back and revisit that issue and get so that the fire is only able to hit the player one time. Um, until then, I hope this was useful, and take care.